Do you think you have a chance to become someone great? Wrong. Most of you will remain unnoticed. You live in a world that promises you everything but gives you nothing. You are told you have opportunities, you have resources, you have technology. You are told anyone can become successful, everyone can leave a mark. Lies. Absolute, cold-blooded lies. You won't become Tesla. You won't become Nietzsche. You won't become Caesar because you have a phone. You have social media. You have comfort. And that's exactly why you are nobody. Hunger doesn't chase you. You're not fighting for survival. You don't have to tear your place in the world with your teeth. You don't need to fight, suffer, overcome pain for an idea, for a dream, for something greater than your own miserable existence. You're used to warmth, to a soft pillow, to the illusion of freedom, which in reality is just a long, endless chain. But the scariest part isn't even that. The scariest part is that you are content. You accept this. You don't rebel. You don't even realize how much they've broken you. Greatness didn't come to the great because they had technology, not because they had connections, not because they lived in a comfortable time. No, they became great because their world was against them, because they were broken, but they didn't break. They were thrown into darkness, but they burned with fire. They didn't look for comfort, they looked for meaning. They went beyond, tore chains, stepped over boundaries that you don't even dare to realize. Do you think you have a choice? Do you think you decide who to be? No. Everything has already been decided for you. Algorithms shape your consciousness. Advertising feeds you desires. The news dictates what you should think about. You are not the master of your fate. You are a biological mechanism programmed to consume, agree, and not interfere. You won't go to war for your ideas because you have no ideas. You won't fight for the truth because you have no truth. You won't overcome fear because you've been taught to run from pain, not face it head-on. But what if I told you that there is still a chance? There is a chance for the one who is able to break this illusion, for the one who dares to step beyond the boundaries of comfort, who throws away the soft pillows, tears apart the cozy cocoon, and faces chaos head-on. The great ones aren't those who dream, but those who refuse to live by the rules. Those who go into the unknown, where there's pain, fear, and loneliness. Those who accept this as the price for true freedom. But do you have the will? Exposing the myth of greatness. The lie you're made to believe anyone can become anyone. Since childhood, you've been told that you are special, that you have potential, that the world is open to you, and if you just want it, you can achieve anything. You're told that anyone can become great, anyone can succeed, anyone can leave a mark on history. A lie. An absolute lie. You won't become a legend. You won't write your name in books. You won't leave a trace. Greatness is not for everyone. Greatness is not your destiny. Not because you're not smart enough. Not because you don't have talent. But because this world is built in a way that ensures you will never break through its limits. You've been programmed to be ordinary. The failure statistic: most people will live an ordinary life. Look around you. Where are all those millions of great people your childhood dreams promised? Where are the thousands of Einsteins, millions of Napoleons, crowds of Socrates? They're not here. They never were and never will be. Because most people are born to fade into the mass, to be invisible, to be part of the machine, but never its engine. Look at the numbers. 99% of people will never become famous, will leave nothing behind but archival records. 99% will live their lives working for someone, following someone else's orders, moving along someone else's tracks. 99% will die without ever asking themselves the most important question: did I even live? And you are among them. For now. But is there a chance to break free? Is there a path beyond the limits? Yes. But it's not the one they've shown you. The enemy within, society, programs weakness. You were never taught to be strong. You were taught to be convenient. You were never taught to think. You were taught to repeat. You were never taught to create. You were taught to consume. Every day, you're surrounded by mechanisms of control. Social media feeds you entertainment, stealing your will. The news shapes your opinion, stripping you of critical thinking. Convenience destroys your strength, making you incapable of fighting. As a child, you were told, be good, not be brave. You were told, be obedient, not be free. Your weaknesses are not random. They were designed. Your fears were deliberately sown. You are a product of a system that doesn't want you to be great. You must remain as you were created, submissive, invisible, manageable. But if you understand this, you've already taken the first step. Now, the question isn't whether you can become great. The question is, are you ready to break the chains? A Superman is someone who breaks the norms. Nietzsche said, a Superman is the one who creates his own laws. What does this mean? It means that a Superman does not obey traditions or the moral standards of society. He lives by his own rules, and his path is not marked by the flags of comfort. He does not seek approval. He does not strive to conform. He acts. He goes where others fear to tread. He is not afraid of pain because he understands. It is only through it that one can become. A Superman is someone who lives as if he himself were the highest goal. He rejects social approval. He does not care about what others think. He knows that his path is one of strength, not weakness. A path not toward safety, but toward true freedom. He is ready to break all chains, to go against all winds, and to face challenges with a smile. The crowd fears risk. You fear risk. Unlike the Superman, the crowd is a herd that fears any threat. The crowd fears risk. It sees danger in it, not opportunity. The crowd knows only one thing: survive. And to survive, it is willing to obey, to close itself in a cozy cage, and to give up freedom. These are the ones who will look at the Superman and say, you've gone mad. But in their eyes, there will be a flame of envy. Envy for the one who is not afraid to go where others break. Envy for the one who is not afraid to be alone, because for him, loneliness is not a punishment, but a chance to breathe deeply. The crowd lives in fear. Fear of risk, fear of stepping beyond the limits. It fears rejection, it fears not conforming, it fears losing its positive reputation. It fears making mistakes, it fears failure, because failure is the end. For the crowd, failure is a catastrophe, it is destruction. But for the Superman, it is just another step. Elon Musk, Napoleon, the Joker, mad but great. Look at Elon Musk. This man challenged everything humanity knew. He didn't just build rockets, he rewrote the rules of the game. He wasn't afraid of making mistakes. He wasn't afraid of falling. He walked where others wouldn't even dare to dream of stepping. Musk was willing to invest his money in risky projects, ready to face an endless number of failures until he achieved success. He wasn't afraid of seeming crazy in the eyes of the crowd. He was a Superman. And despite all his mistakes and scandals, he changed the world. Or look at Napoleon. This man took an entire empire into his own hands. He went against everyone, took risks, fought bloody wars. He knew that either he would become the greatest, or remain nothing. There were no compromises for him, no way back. He was a Superman who refused to live by other people's laws. His ambitions knew no bounds, and despite his downfall, his name remains in history. And the Joker, he is yet another vivid example. Madness, chaos, a complete lack of fear. He breaks all norms because for him, there is no difference between truth and lies, between order and disorder. He seeks freedom not through success, but through destruction. The Joker, like the Superman, does not obey the laws. His strength lies in the fact that he is not afraid to be nobody. He is ready to be whoever he wants, and destroy everything that stands in his way. They are all madmen. They are all great. And in their madness, there is power. In their rejection of fear, there is greatness. In their actions, there is a life the crowd can only dream of. These are not the ones afraid to take risks. These are the ones who know greatness comes through pain, through the destruction of the old world, through the rejection of norms. And only through this do they become supermen. Do you fear risk? Then you will remain part of the crowd. Do you fear pain? Then you will never be great. But if you are capable of breaking free from fear and the norm, you may have found your path. Why you will never become great? Not because you're not smart, not talented, not strong. No. You will never become great because you are your own enemy. You destroy your own chance. There are 5 killers of greatness, and each one of them, in the hidden shadows, slowly erodes your potential. You don't see them, but they control your life, slowly killing everything in you that could become great. Fear of others' opinions. The very fear that prevents you from taking the first step. You're afraid of what others will think. You don't like the idea of being misunderstood, judged, rejected. And you're right to fear it, because you are conditioned to be comfortable, to fit into the system. You fear criticism because it's been ingrained in you as a threat. But know this, no one who ever became great waited for approval. The great never ask if they are doing the right thing. They go where others fear to go, despite condemnation. You are a slave to others' opinions, and as long as you can't learn to ignore them, you will remain in the shadows. The desire for comfort. You want to be happy, but is happiness about sitting on the couch with your phone in hand? You want ease, but greatness requires effort. You fear stepping beyond your comfort zone because comfort is an illusion of safety. It's your prison. You choose to avoid risk, avoid pain, avoid difficulties. But a great life, a great existence, is a life in constant motion, struggle, and sacrifice. When you fear destroying your comfort, you will destroy your chance to become who you could be. Waiting for the right moment. You wait. You wait for the circumstances to be perfect, for the right time to come. But time doesn't come. It slips away. The great don't wait for the right moment. They make it right. And while you wait, you lose your life. This excuse is just a stone you've placed on your chest. You will never be ready. There are no perfect conditions. This is a lie you've told yourself. You don't need to wait, you need to act. Hatred of pain and suffering. You fear pain. You fear suffering. But it is through pain that growth comes, through suffering that strength is born. All the greats endured pain, physical, moral, emotional. They went through the darkness because they knew there would be light afterward. You, however, run from pain, hiding in cozy corners, avoiding everything that might harm your peace. But in this pursuit of comfort, you lose what makes a person truly great, the courage to stand in the face of fear, pain, and loneliness. The great are not born in idleness, but in overcoming pain. Refusal to take responsibility. You want to blame others. You look for reasons in the outside world. You blame circumstances, people, the system, the government. You don't see that the only enemy is you. You fear taking responsibility for your life, for your decisions. You prefer to be a puppet in someone else's hands. But greatness only comes when you take responsibility for everything. When you understand that every choice you make is your destiny. Only then do you become the master of your life. Only then can you begin to build your future. You know this is true. You know that each of these killers of greatness has already acted in your life. You feel them every day, but you continue to close your eyes, convincing yourself that everything will be fine. But you're lying to yourself. If you don't start acting now, if you don't rid yourself of these deadly habits, you will remain an ordinary, mediocre person, looking at the great from the sidelines, feeling envy but not willing to change. You will not be great if you continue to be afraid, if you continue running from pain, if you continue seeking comfort. You need to admit this. You know it's true. You know you have a choice. Make it. Can this be changed? Answer: most people no. Very few, yes. Most will remain in the same swamp they've drowned in. They will search for excuses, seek easy paths, seek comfort. They will think there is time, that someday they will change something, but someday doesn't exist. Time slips away, and they will just continue to exist, not living, but merely wasting precious minutes on empty illusions. But there are those who can, those who realize that their life is their only opportunity, and they're not going to waste it. This small minority will become what they've dreamed of for so long. And here's what they need to do to achieve it. The first step: a complete break with the past. You cannot become a new person if you continue dragging the heavy chain of old habits, old wounds, and old excuses behind you. You cannot build a new house on an old foundation. You must destroy everything that was before, Leave behind the fears, doubts, and patterns imposed by society. Your life will not begin until you break with the past. Until you stop living in memories of what was. You need to make space for the new. Only when you sever this connection with the past can you start building yourself anew. The second step, rigid self-development. No excuses. No easy paths. You cannot become strong without facing pain, without enduring hardship. This is not just working on yourself. This is fighting every day, with every temptation to retreat into comfort. You don't wait for things to be convenient. You act despite everything. There is no ease in this process. It's a battle with yourself, with the parts that want to give up, with the parts that want to return to the shadows. You must be ready for constant sacrifice, constant work, to set new barriers for yourself every day that you must overcome. Without struggle, there is no growth, and without growth, there is no greatness. The third step, indifference to others' opinions. You must stop seeking approval from others. You must learn to be independent of what others think of you. You should not care about what people will say when you walk your own path. And this path will not be easy. It will be lonely. But that's not your problem. You didn't come into this world to meet others' expectations. You came to be yourself, to be who you must be, regardless of what the crowd thinks of you. You must rid yourself of dependence on others' views. Only then will you become who you are truly capable of being. Most will turn off this video and forget. Very few will take action, and they will remember every word. Time will show who is ready for change, who is ready to break free from the illusion of safety and become who they could always have been. So, who are you? If you feel that the world annoys you, you're on the right path. All these rules, all these limiting structures, these illusions that hold you back, they are exactly what should make you furious. You should feel how the system is choking you, how it's trying to break your will and overshadow your light. And if you can no longer tolerate this, if you see everything around you and realize that it doesn't deserve your attention, your energy, your life, then you have awakened. You are already on the path to greatness, though the world won't tell you that. They will continue wearing masks of comfort, continuing to hide in the shadow of the ordinary, but you won't be among them. You will be the one who steps beyond, who isn't afraid to go where others get lost. You've already started a rebellion. You can subscribe if you want to know what to do next. Or close the video and return to your life if you're comfortable living in it. If you like being a small cog in the enormous machine that consumes life, leaving only emptiness. But if you feel that you don't belong here, that your life is meant for more, go further. Remember, he who fights with monsters should be careful lest he himself become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. These are not just words. They are a warning. You must choose. Will you remain part of the crowd, or will you be the one who steps outside of it? Be ready.